Introducing a new podcast. Karen Hunter is awesome.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're going to love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of The Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. So check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed.
Karen Hunter is awesome. A new podcast from Karen Hunter.
On another note, Jeff Bezos, as each of these billionaires go to Mar-a-Lago to kiss the ring and the booty of the incoming president and claim their fealty, Jeff Bezos, who also owns the Washington Post, has been exposed by his own newspaper for poor working conditions. In addition to that, one of his Pulitzer Prize winning cartoonists resigned last week after she put out a cartoon showing all of the oligarchs and billionaires bowing to a statue or figure of Trump, and they refused to run it in the Washington Post. So it made its way, and we'll tweet it out and blue sky it out on social media. But the cartoonist has resigned, as she should, and I like that there are people who are standing up and not allowing this to continue. But there's an expose in his own paper on the poor treatment of people at Amazon, Bezos' signature company. While he spent the holidays jetting from Aspen to his yacht on St. Bart's and is planning a $60 million wedding, workers at Amazon were facing some horrific schedules and high-risk work environments. This is according to a Washington Post expose. They had mandatory extra time. So you had to take overtime during Black Friday to get all of the packages out. And those of us who order packages for our family members were happy that they got there, but at what cost? Some employees had to work 5 11-hour shifts rather than their usual 4 10-hour shifts. And despite telling the Post, a spokesperson for Amazon, that employees were paid overtime for additional hours, they could not bow out of working those extra hours. So some had 12 hours one day, 6 hours, 6 days in a row. And the company's peak season policies led to managers in one Amazon warehouse feeling the need to remind workers to practice basic personal hygiene because they didn't have time to wash. They used incentives like free drinks from 7-Eleven. Wow. And raffles to win water bottles and stress balls to keep them motivated. How? You're the richest, one of the richest men in the world. And this is the other question, from Bezos to Zuckerberg to Musk. You guys have all the money in the world. Zuckerberg owns like most of Hawaii. You know, Bill Gates owns more farmland than any person in the country. I think China might own more. I'm going to say less about that. But I think these men, it's like, how much do you need? Like, what? You need even more power? You got all the money in the world. Musk is the richest man on paper in the world. And y'all are, so what are you really currying favor for? The ability to abuse workers? The ability to change the workplace so that you have no checks? It feels like they are trying to not be checked, to not have anybody be able to sue them, to not have anybody be able to say, hey, these are bad work practices. It looks to me, which is why they are really, really big on bringing in more of those visa, HB1 visa people, because they can't strike and they can't say this is unfair because they could be sent back home. So they're going to keep their mouths closed and you can do whatever you want to them. It feels very familiar that you want to bring people here who have no rights or voices to be able to say this is unfair, and or else, yes, of course, they can go back to their countries. But who wouldn't want to make 6 figures when you're doing the same work in your country, making pennies on a dollar? So there's a lot happening in real time while we're distracted with a whole host of other things. Let's really see what's going on here. Why are these billionaires why did they buy the newspapers in the first place? The one that bought the Los Angeles Times, another Chinese from South Africa. There's something happening here we should be paying attention to.